Hello my friends, welcome to Pro Strings. I'm Henriette and this is lesson 14 in the violin class for beginners. And today we're going to learn to use the third finger on the violin. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's have your violin up straight away. So when we use our third finger, it's quite important that our left hand position is as good as we can possibly get it. So let's check over our finger line, our thumb and our tennis ball, and we're just going to play on the A string now, and we're going to play with long notes. First our open string, then our first finger, then our second finger, and then our third finger. And when our third finger comes along, you are going to place it right next to the second finger. So fingers 1 and 2 have a space between them, but finger number 3 comes right by the side. Now in order to achieve that, I want you to make sure that this row of knuckles here is level with the E string. So let's just double check that that finger line is in the correct place and that you're not sort of lagging below the fingerboard there, but you hoist your fingers up so that all of your fingers are above the fingerboard. Okay, let's play now an open A to start with. Here we go. Now let's place your first finger. Hold on for a moment, place your second finger a space away. And now let's place our third finger right by the side. Now if you can't quite make it and sound like this, it might be that your finger has gone a bit too far away and it's gone too flat. So what you want to do is to try and make your finger nice and round. So instead of it going flatter like this, see if you can get your finger to go on its fingertip. Now when we play on our fingertips, we want to have very short nails. So it might be that you need to just go and get a pair of nail clippers and just cut your nails a little bit shorter. Violinists always have got very short nails on their left hand because we want to avoid touching the strings with our nails. Just the padded bit of your finger should be touching the strings. So take all your fingers away. Let's check that finger line again, and let's play the open A first. Here we go. Hold on for a moment, place your first finger. And now, take a break. Place your second finger. And now, on your fingertip if you can manage, here comes finger number 3, right by the side of finger number 2. Lovely. Okay, so hold it here for a moment. Can you check that your thumb is nice and loose, that it's not squeezing that violin right there? Okay, take all your fingers away. We'll try it once again, shall we? Check over your finger line. Check over that big tennis ball. So you don't want to be playing like this, because then your finger can't reach the string, because your fingertips, as you do that with your wrist, your fingertips get moved into the opposite direction of where we want them. So push your wrist out so that your fingertips start pointing towards your strings like that. Ready? And A. Hold on, let's place your first finger on its fingertip. Hold on, place your finger on your fingertip. And finger number 3. Wonderful. Now let's think for a moment what these notes are going to be called. So if you play no fingers on the A string, your note is called A. If you play one finger on the A string, your note is called B. The second finger is called C sharp. And the third finger is called D. Now between C sharp and D, there is only a half step, a semitone between those notes. So what we want to remember for now is that B and C sharp, our first and second fingers, are a whole step apart. And C sharp and D are right next to one another. And you can see, because my fingers are very close together. Now if we've played this correctly, that note D, the third finger, should match with the D string, and that's what we're going to explore in a moment. So let's play again. A, 1, 2, 3, and then hold on. Here we go. Are you ready? Finger line in place. Is your thumb in place? Is your tennis ball in place? And off we go. And A. Place your first finger. Place your second finger. Place your third finger. Now, this note D should match really well with our open D string. So let's just play this. You can probably hear when I play the third finger on the A together with the open D string, they make a matching pair, a matching octave that's called. And they sound really beautifully together because both notes are called D. Now, you may find that quite tricky to achieve, to play those two notes together, but I think when you try that a couple of times, it will over time get a little bit easier. So let's try it again, shall we? Take all your fingers away. Check over your finger line, your thumb, and I can't emphasize enough how important it is not to squeeze with your thumb if you possibly can. And let's do that again, shall we? We're starting on A. Place your first finger. Place your second finger. Place your third finger. And now let's see whether that matches with the D string. Now it may be that your notes sound like this. And that is a huge clash of notes. And in this case, if it sounds like this, your third finger has gone a little bit too wide. So if you can possibly place your third finger nearer to the second finger, that would be good, and that should fix that. Okay, it might be that you're sounding like this. And again you get a clash of notes. It doesn't match together really nicely, and in this case your finger has ended up too low, your third finger. And that is most likely caused by your second finger not being far enough away from your first finger. So you might see, if that's you, widen the space for your second finger a bit more. And then you hopefully find that you play what's called a perfect octave, a low D and a high D, and they are matching together. Let's practice this one more time, shall we? Here we go. Take all your fingers away. Check over your finger line, your thumb and your tennis ball. And off we go. Place your first finger. Listen carefully. Sing along. Sing in your head. And 3. And test it. Can manage. Let's play them double. Awesome. Very good. Now let's find our exercise for today in the book. And if you have an old version of the book, this is exercise 34 on page 7. And if you have a red book, we're going to play exercise 26 on page 16. Now when you look at your exercise here, you see these squares with brackets either side, and this is how you test your fingers, like we've done just now. A, 1, 2. And this is where our real exercise starts. And as you can see, we're starting on the second finger. But when we start a piece on the second finger, we have to just test our notes A, 1, 2 to make sure that that second finger is in tune, you see. So this is how that works. So this bit is just testing your fingers. and then your real exercise starts here. So let's play this. So check over again your finger line, your thumb and your tennis ball, and we're going to make our fingers really nice and round. So when you look at your hand like that, you've got this claw-like shape of your hand. Here we go. Starting with that testing of your fingers. And when you're happy with this note, we're going to play our exercise. So we're playing a second finger with a half bow. Stop. Place your third finger. Stop. Take your third finger away. Stop. Place your third finger. Take your third finger away. Rest. Rest. Awesome. And you will have noticed that when you look at the notes on the stave, you can see that the note for the third finger has gone up a little bit when you compare it to the note head of the second finger. And that just indicates that you're a little bit higher pitched on your third finger note. Shall we play this exercise again? Let's test the position of our hand again. Check your finger line, check your thumb, check your tennis ball. Test our notes now. A. 1, 2. If you're not quite matching in sound with me, we'll practice it again. A. Listen carefully if your first finger is matching and if your second finger is matching. Great. Now start again at the heel of the bow and we're going to play to the middle. So we're playing on the lower half of the bow. And 2 first. Stop. Awesome. Well done. Very good. Now let's take a look at the next exercise. So if you're playing in an old book, this is exercise 35 on page 7. If you're playing in the red book, this is number 27 on page 16. Now here we're going to connect the notes up. So we're connecting the fingers up so there is not a space. And we're playing with long bows as well. So if you've still got your fingers ready on the string, that's fine. If you've let go in the meantime, which is perfectly okay, we're just testing our notes again, okay? So here we go, testing A, 1, 2, with long bows this time. Ready to play. We're starting at the heel of the bow, starting on a down bow. And playing. Very nice. That's really beginning to sound like good violin playing there. Lovely. Now, it may be that you are a little bit further advanced and that you think, oh, these notes in my book are slurred. And yes, they are slurred, but we are playing separate bows. And in a moment, we're going to play it again. So if you've played this slurred, don't worry about it. We're going to play it separate bows again. Now, what I'd like you to practice on this next playing is that you synchronize the left hand and the right hand, so that when my bow changes, exactly at that same moment, you're going to place your finger or take your finger away. So I'll show you what I don't want to hear, what sometimes happens, but that's what we're going to try and eliminate, is this. Can you hear that my bow and my left hand fingers are not quite in sync with each other, and they need to try to change both at the same time. So that's what we're focusing on this time. So listen carefully and very critically to your own playing. Am I really precisely at the same time with my bow and my left hand? So if you've let go, test your fingers A, 1, 2. Starting at the heel of the bow, and listen to that synchronization. And I'd be very interested to hear from you in the comment section down below this video whether you managed to sync your left and right hands. That would be good to share with everyone. Not just for me, it's interesting to see how you get on, but for everyone else practicing with us as well. It's just really nice to feel that there is a community of players out here who find the same things really tricky, or who manage the same things, because you're learning all the time, isn't it? Now this time I want you to listen very carefully, that while you sync your fingers, that you're not jerking your bow. Sometimes I hear this, look. So when we change fingers, we want to make sure that we time it just right. So in order to do that, you might try and slow down your bowing slightly so that you get a really inaudible change. Now, for a final go today, let's try that. So let's test our fingers first of all. Check over your finger line, your thumb and your tennis ball, and off we go. Testing our fingers A, 1, 2. Ready? Listen out, and that was really much better, wasn't it? So you sync your left and right hands and you play really smoothly with the bow. Well done, that's awesome progress today. So this brings us very nicely to starting to learn the fourth finger, which we'll do in our next lesson. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me today. I very much look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye.